Look, summer is alive and well. It's hot. People want a cold little bubbly thing. And that cold little bubbly thing can be any soda that you want to make through the power of fermentation. And with that word, you already know it's Fermentation Friday. Roll that intro. Today we're going to talk about what I believe is pronounced Kefir. It's not Kefir. I thought it was Kefir for the longest time. I also used to think it was Kefir. Kefir, people are calling it all sorts of different things. I'm not the greatest with pronunciation, so I could also be wrong. People typically associate this with milk kefir, which is like a dairy-based kefir grain. You add it ferments it. It's kind of like a liquidy yogurt. That's how I would describe it. But this is a water kefir, which means that it literally ferments sugar water, carbonates it. So when I realized this, I was like, oh my God. You could totally make any soda you want naturally, and it essentially have the health benefits of yogurt, but it's a flippin' soda, dude. Did I just call it kefir a few times when I literally just said that it's pronounced kefir? You see? If you're into kombucha, then you are at the right video. So let's get our cold little bubbly thing on and let's do this, shall we?
Now, in order to make water kefir, you need water kefir grains. Luckily, they're really easy to get on Amazon. I got mine from Cultures from Health. The link will be in the description for that. Now, they come dehydrated, so once you have those dehydrated grains, you're gonna first need to activate those. Now, in order to do that, you're gonna take a quarter cup or 56 grams of demerara or brown sugar, some sort of raw sugar. It's ideal that it's less processed, that way you have the extra minerals in there because that's going to benefit the fermentation, but you can also opt to use organic cane sugar. Then you're going to combine with that a half cup or 118 milliliters of water in a small pan, then just bring that up to heat just to dissolve it. As soon as it dissolves, pour it into a 1 quart size jar and then cover it with another 3 cups or 709 milliliters of room temperature filtered water, which ideally water without fluoride. I actually use spring water for this. Then just go ahead and spoon that for a second, make sure that everything's nice and mixed together. Then just pour your kefir grains in that. But wait, when you do this, make sure that the water temperature is no higher than 85 degrees Fahrenheit or 29 degrees Celsius. If it is, you could risk killing the ferment. So, make sure to check the temp before you do that. Then just cover the top with some cheesecloth, tie it on with some butcher's twine or a rubber band. Always label and give that bad boy a smiley face. And then let it sit at room temperature for 3 to 4 days. By the 3rd or the 4th day, the grain should be nice and plump and, sort of translucent. Then they'll be ready to make kefir. Now, making kefir is the exact same process. First, strain the grains out of the liquid. We're gonna discard this liquid because this is just the activation liquid. It's not actually kefir yet, technically. Now, we're gonna make a bigger batch of sugar water. So you're gonna start with a quarter cup plus 2 tablespoons or 78 grams of your sugar, and then just dissolve that in 1 cup or 237 milliliters of hot water. And yeah, that's right. I did figure out that it was unnecessary to heat it up in a pan. Once that's completely dissolved, then pour that into a half-gallon jar and then cover it with about another 5 cups or 1.2 liters of filtered water. Make sure to check that temperature, then toss in your activated kefir grains, toss on that cheesecloth lid, label that bad boy, and then leave it out at room temperature for 24 to 48 hours. I usually do 24 hours. Now you've made kefir. That's pretty much it, but the carbonation process happens when you bottle it with different flavors and stuff like that, which I will show you how to do in a second. I've been saying kefir a few times, haven't I? In order to maintain your kefir grains, you're basically just going to keep doing this process every 48 hours. If you want to take a break, you can just make a new batch of sugar water and then put it in the fridge for 3 weeks and then just do that every 3 weeks. Now you can flavor and carbonate your kefir with anything you want. You can use fresh fruit, fruit juice, extracts, flavored waters, all these sorts of different things you can do. So first strain out your kefir grains, make sure to reserve that water because that's literally what you want. And then go ahead and get another batch of water kefir going if you want, or you can store it in the fridge like I said. Now for a nice sparkling lemonade, you can do 3.5 tablespoons or 51 milliliters of lemon juice, plus a little strip of lemon zest to each quart of your finished kefir. Add a small pinch of granulated sugar to the bottom of a flip-top bottle, transfer your kefir into the flip-top bottle, close the flip top for anywhere between 1 to 3 days, making sure to burp it once a day. Please be careful, guys. Put this in an area where it's safe in case it does explode. I had one explode on me today, and it's just dangerous and it's really messy, so please be careful. Now for sort of a grape soda kind of thing, you can add 2/3 of a cup or 157 milliliters of grape juice to every quart of finished water kefir. Get that little mix, toss it in a flip-top bottle, close that flip-top, and then let it ferment for anywhere between 1 to 3 days, making sure to burp it every day until it's fizzy. Here's a fancy version for you. Go ahead and add a cut up small peach to a flip-top bottle. Make sure that the pieces fit in there easily, that way they're easy to get out later. A nice sprig of fresh thyme, and just a couple drops of orange blossom water, if you can find it. Then just top it off with your water kefir, making sure to leave some headspace at the top of the bottle. You should be leaving headspace for all the bottles, by the way. Close your flip-top and then let that ferment for the exact same amount of time. Don't forget to burp it, please. please avoid all explosions thing. And also, don't forget to label all these bad boys. Now, these are just guidelines, you know, these are just some examples that you can use. But play around with different fruit juices and different fresh fruits and see what you like. Another cool thing about kefir is that it's not only partial to just sugar water. You can use other sugary liquids like coconut water and do that primary ferment with something like that. So I actually did a coconut water kefir, and you basically just let it ferment in the jar, transfer it to a flip top bottle, let it get all fizzy, and you've got a fizzy coconut water. I mean, it's pretty cool. And you can also do that same thing with straight fruit juice. Like I also did it with pure grape juice, and it worked great. I mean, look at that bubbly. Look at that bubbliness. That was also the one that exploded, so please be careful because those are very vigorous. Now, once your flip top bottles are all done skis and nice and fizzy like this one, then you can always just close it back up and put it in the fridge, chill it, and enjoy it like a summery fizzy beverage, you know, the cold little bubbly thing that we were talking about. But that's it. If I had to say where you guys should start, I would really recommend just starting with the basic kefir recipe, and then you can start playing with those fruit juices and stuff like that. But first, start with the basics and then flavor it from there, bottle it, enjoy it, and that's it. You made your own homemade fermented soda. But do you want to know what else does well, homemade and fermented? B-roll.
All right, guys, and that is it. So we made water kefir. Whew. It's got plenty of probiotics in it. It's good for you. It's tasty. It's bubbly. It's got depth of flavor. You know, what more could you want? So, first thing is I'm working on merch. It's happening. It is actually happening. I teamed up with a designer today. We're going over all the design ideas that I have. You guys have sent in a bunch of stuff in the last few videos that I talked about it, and all the input was super appreciated, and I guarantee you that this design is a direct reflection of all of those responses that I got. So thank you guys so much for the contribution. And seriously, A, it makes the decision process a lot easier, and B, now I know something that I feel like you guys will like, hopefully. So I'm excited to announce it, but for now, we must be patient. Including myself, because I really want you guys to be able to have this stuff as soon as possible. But in the meantime, if you're not already following me on Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz, it is in the description. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.